He's never gonna dance again. His, I don't know the words. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Is that what it is? Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, you know I'm not a fool, but you should know better than to cheat a friend. Alright. George Michael has died. Which is sad. I'm not a huge George Michael fan, but I like a good number of his songs, including that one. I enjoy Wham, Jitterbug, you know, all that stuff. So yeah, kind of a downer, you know. A lot of people are down on 2016, taking all of the celebrities, which makes me wonder. Let me wax philosophic here for a minute, neighborhood, on this edition, thrilling edition of DC Play Skyrim. Is it just that 2016 took so many legends, or is it that because of social media and because, you know, we have so many legends, there are so many famous people and more all the time, is it just that there's more of them to die? And I don't mean to be a jerk about that. Like, it sounds terrible that I would say that, but I mean it. Is it, I forgot I had the throw voice shout, random thought. Is it that there's more of them? Or is it that there's houses down there? You know, is it that just 2016 stinks, or is it that there's more celebrities and this is just how it's going to be? Like, is this what our life is going to be like for the next however long? You know, is 2017 going to be just as bad solely because there's a lot of, you know, famous people and they're getting older? You know what I mean? David Bowie was not a young man. George Michael, 53, is far too young, I think we can all agree. But still, you know, not a, well, it is young, but, so, you know, I do wonder that. And I'm not trying to be a jerk face about it. I'm really not. You know, that Marked for Death shout is much better than I originally gave it credit for. I'm really not trying to be a jerk face about it. It is, you know, a rotten year. But at the same time, I wonder if this is just what life is going to be like for us now, and all of our heroes will pass. Not all of them, obviously, but a good amount of them will pass in our near future. So now that I have fully depressed you, and I took a dragon soul, though. That's you gotta be happy about that for me. That's nice. I found some death bell. That's always good. You know, here on Northwind Summit, there's a chest in there. Just not sure how exactly to get to it. And a skeleton up there. What is happening? So there's a skeleton there and a chest, but is the chest buried so much so? Oh no, there we go. So let me know at DC Matthews NAI. Let me know what you think. You know, am I being too callous? Which is possible. I have my heel DC moments. You know, am I wrong? Is it just that 2016 stunk for a variety of reasons? Or is this sadly kind of the world we live in now? Is this, as people are wont to say, the new normal, where we're just going to have to deal with the fact that many of our childhood heroes are going to be taken from us, you know? A lot of people identify with George Michael. I am not one of them, but a lot of people do. A lot of people identified with Prince and David Bowie. Again, not my personal favorites by any stretch of the imagination, but legends of our time. And so And it's Christmas. That's the other reason. You don't take good people away on Christmas. That's just not cool. So again, I apologize for the fact that I'm a little maudlin on this episode. It's not really how I expected my Christmas spirit to be. I had a good day, but you know, it is something that I ponder. You know, I think about, like, George Carlin hit me deep. I've been a huge stand-up comedy fan my entire life, and while I came of age post George Carlin, you know, the 7 words you can't say on television and all of that stuff. Yes, I know where we are. Oh, and this isn't even the place I'm supposed to be. Good, because this place kind of stinks. You know, but he was a huge name. I loved his work. A lot of it went over my head. As you know, he's one of those few guys, for me anyways, I don't know if you can feel the same way for you, as I listen to his stuff over and over again, you know, I get into modes where I listen to as much George Carlin stuff as I can, and the more I listen to it, the older that I get, the more it makes sense, and the more I understand, and the more I can appreciate him and his work and his thoughts and his beliefs and the way he kind of visualized things. You know, that was a passing that, you know, hit me hard. You know, there have been others, and it's not that these passings don't affect me. That always, just like, there's a body hanging out right there. It's always a little comical. You know, it's not that these passings don't affect me. They do, but you know, there are people who are shaken to the core when, you know, Prince or David Bowie, or in this case George Michael, pass away, and that is not me. But you know, I think about the people who I will feel that way about, and you know, I'm not looking forward to it, of course, by any stretch. You know what I should do? This is a random thing, but I have this throw voice thing, and now I've done that, so why don't we play around with that shout? Oh, and it's Khajiit sounding too. Clever. Alright. So, they're looking for me. Here come the bad guys. Now, if I switch to this one. Oh. Well, that was fun. Don't know if that was my smartest choice. Alright, well, I'll take her out, and then I can do battle with the rest of these people. So yeah, let's get back to things here. You know, I do want to get back to silliness and the excitement that comes with Skyrim and doing crazy stuff. But, you know, when, you know, the wrestlers of our childhood, Flair, Hogan, those like that, you know, when they pass, that will be terrible, and I think that will affect me a little more. Did she run and hide? Yeah, apparently so. What kind of bandit leader are you if you run and hide? That's one of those gems I can't take. I want to talk about a craft quest. I know I've mentioned it before, but it's... No, you don't submit. You die. Ooh, a treasure map. Tell Grunwolf. Alright, so, without taking the unusual gem, you'll take that, and that, and that. Almost got all the fire salts, which is good, because I'm going to be in Riften. I should probably have them all, though that doesn't seem entirely likely. Alright, this chest I'm looking for. That's a loot I gotta bring to the Bard's College. But I'm not joining the Bard's College. I wonder if I can bring those without joining. I wonder if that's allowed. I believe there's another chest down here. Are there any other bad guys, though? There are. There's one more, at least. I like this throw voice shout. That is useful. Cheese brain. Clever. I missed. I did not miss. Alright, and there is a chest. I apologize. I apologize for the fact that I went all over the place. I went to this dark place, and then proceeded to completely get caught up in the game and what I was doing. Though, to be fair, maybe I can make the point here that that's kind of what this whole thing is about. This is what video games are for. Video games help us to ignore, reality, and you can decide whether you feel personally that's for better or worse. You might think that it's good to have an escape. You might think it's not good. You might think that might be where some of the problems in our world come from. The fact that we can so easily lose ourselves in a fantasy world, and we don't actually stop and deal with the real world. Now, when it comes to, the passing of George Michael, I don't think, that's as huge of a deal as what some other of these instances might be. But you wouldn't be wrong to make that case. You wouldn't be wrong to... the sword. To say that, we're hiding from our problems. We hide from our problems in these fantasy type games because it's easier than doing whatever is more difficult in terms of facing our challenges. Are there people who will lose themselves in this, rather than facing the challenge of whatever's happening in our world, for better or worse? The one thing DC Matthews is he is not political. So, however you feel about what's going on in the world, wherever you are. So perhaps this is kind of an example of that, and it allows it to be a relatively simple example of the power and potentially the problem of video games. As we talked about George Michael, I spoke at length about, my, potential philosophy, and probably actually what is my true philosophy, that this is just kind of the life that we're going to be leading for a while. Is there are so many more celebrities now than there ever were, and people die. And then perhaps the reason, like I said, the pros and cons of video games and the ability to lose yourself in entertainment. It's possible I made absolutely no sense during this video, but I appreciate you taking the time to listen to it. So if you have comments, at DC Matthews NAI, he's Lindsay Dorado, I am DC Matthews. We'll see you around the neighborhood. Thanks for listening.